Hello guys and welcome to my channel Optimizer. Today we're going to be discussing N8N in a very, I would say, basic way, but also basics are very important to go from zero to hero. Okay, let's get to it. Brief presentation. So N8N is an open source. What means open source? That it means that you can actually download it and use it for free. But you can also use the cloud version, which is, I would say, advanced and allows you to have a security configuration already made in, so you can use it directly. Okay, so it's an automation tool that enables you to automate tasks by connecting different services. In here we have a diagram that represents those services. So basically, in each flow you will have first of all an entry, which is a trigger. So a trigger is something that triggers your workflow, that it allows him to be launched. And in each trigger you will have some data that will be used for your flow. Okay, so basically that data gets access to your flow and will be used either by data processors, or as I call them, transformers, or by your LLMs. So it can create some logic, intelligence into your data. So it can also make some actions, create events for you, and do some API calls to some applications. For example, your calendar or your email or any, I'd say, application out there that give the accessibility to their API to be used. Okay, so later on in the workflow, you probably won't have to, or it's an option to kind of put your information that you get back from your LLMs to a database, or either make some action in your apps, in your email, messenger, for example, or calendar, etc. There is no limitation here. You can use any application that is allowed by them to access. We can go further later on for this. Okay, so now I'll have a small node presentation. So I call them nodes because it's pretty easy to understand in this way. So as described before and in the diagram that I've just presented, so the workflow will be mostly composed by triggers. So the triggers comes in the first of your workflow. So it basically tells you when your workflow will be launched. So for example, here we have a clicking trigger. So you click on it and your workflow will run directly. You can have also a message telegram trigger that you can use. For example, you will send a message to a bot that will actually triggers your workflow to be run. Data processors. So data processors are basically algorithmic things, or I would say algorithms that you can use to process your data, filter your data, transform your data. So here, for example, you can do some coding, some JavaScript or Python if you have some background, but that is not, I would say, today necessary to have that background. You can use ChatGPT to help you to I would say, use this kind of nodes. Okay, so here you have an if statement. So if it's true or false, you will do either that or this. And you have, for example, here also a loop. But there is other nodes that you can use. So now we come to a very important subject, which are the LLMs that actually leverage and make this, I would say, tool N8N very important to be used. So LLMs, for people that don't know, it's large language models. So it will give some intelligence to your data. So basically the AI agents will be linked to a model that can be, for example, DeepSeek, OpenAI, Labs, and this AI agents actually will make some actions for you. So based on that data that it will give as an input, it will do some actions for you. For example, it will reply to your emails, it will create some, I would say, event for you in your calendar, etc. So there is a lot of use cases that can be met with this AI agents that we can later on in some other videos discuss and see in depth how we use it. Okay, so for databases, so basically when you will do all of this, maybe you will get a result that will be interested to you to be stored in the database. For example, in Airtable, that's an example of a database that you can use, or you can also actually store basically your data in a Google Sheet if you found that more interesting and easier. Also, you can also use other cloud storage services. For example, here you can have a Google Cloud. Apps. So as I said, I'll be the powerful thing about apps is when you connect them to AI agents, but you can also use those nodes in your workflow in many ways. But here you can, for example, send a message later on in your workflow when you have finished everything. For example, here you finished to upload your data in the Airtable. You can send a message back to your Telegram account to say, okay, everything is all right. This was the response, for example, from the LLM. Okay. So yeah, you can also create calendar events, reply to Gmail. So those tools are mostly connected to your AI agents, will make that actions for you. Okay, nice. So let's go to present N8N tool. So here I'm going to be presenting the N8N tool in a general manner. So you can have here an overview. So when you get here, you will sign up, you will create your N8N cloud account, and you will get to this page. So this page will allow you to see your workflows that you have created. Here you can activate those workflows so they can be publicly available. Here you can find your credentials. So here, if you have created a node with authentication, your credential of the authentication will be stored here. Here also you can have your executions and the status of your executions, if they were succeeded or not. So here, system calendar. Today we're going to discuss this workflow, which is a pretty easy workflow that you can actually use for your use cases. But this is just for, I would say, explaining what we just have discussed. So basically, in every workflow of your workflows, you will have a trigger. That trigger can be connected to an AI agent. In our case, this is what we're going to do for our flow. Your AI agents will be connected to a model. So here we have chosen ChatGPT 4o, but it can be other models, for example, DeepSeek or any other model that you'll find it convenient for your use case. Okay. So when you connect it to your workflow, you should actually tell it what to do. So that's the message that's the message that we're going to get from the chat trigger that will be sent to the AI model, so we can have some actions back to the AI agents. So the actions back to the AI agents will allow him actually, based on the tools that he has available, and we have written here that he has those 4 tools, which is a get a calendar event, update a calendar event, and create a calendar event, and also you can also delete a calendar event. Nice. Okay. So basically, let's test it. Okay. Maybe let's check here. if when you want to create a calendar tool, you just come here and connect to it with your Google. You can see the other things here that you can copy and paste. Nice. So let's test it, okay? So basically I can ask him to create for me for tomorrow a meeting at 10 a.m. With John, which is, I would say, my assistant, for example. Create for me a meeting with John tomorrow at 7 a.m. Sorry, or 10 a.m. Okay, so see what happens here. So basically the chat will come here and it will take this position here. So basically you can drag and drop it here and it will appear as a completion of your message. So you can see here what I have actually written in the chat. So what happened is the AI agent sends this message to the ChatGPT 4.0. The ChatGPT responds to the AI agents, and the fact that the AI agents has some tooling in this position, it will create your calendar. So let's check actually if the calendar is really created. So gmail.com. So calendar agenda. So basically you can see here that we have added the meeting with John at 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. You can give it as much as descriptions as you would like. So for example, you can have it for 30 minutes. You can actually tell it that, but this is just an example. So thank you for listening to me, and if you would like to join me in more, I would say, tutorials that I'll be making, so we can make actually more complex workflows and more advanced workflows. So don't hesitate to subscribe and also join my community, which is free in school. So you will find it in the description below. Have fun. Take care, guys. Bye.